Hey, what's going on? This is Martin, owner and trainer Fuller Fitness. I hope you're doing well. As people, depending on what your situation is, people getting ready to go back to school, people getting ready to go back to whatever their previous schedule was before the summer season, even though we still have time in the summer season. But again, as people get ready to get back to whatever their original schedule was, between September and May or between September and June. This video is an important video in my opinion, and thankfully my Brody actually mentioned something to me earlier, so he inspired this video. I think I was going to do it anyway, but once he blurted out something, he blurted out earlier, a few hours ago actually. Um, I knew that it was a good idea for me to make this video with high hopes you understand it and appreciate it. So, depending, almost regardless of what some of us have going on and what we're interested in, that the core is very important. And the core is not just your abs, so that's problem number one. People thinking that the core is just the abs. You have a core of the body, and it's not just the abs. That includes your low back, your lower lat, um, and your hip flexor complex. Um, with that, if there's any weakness in those areas, it will cause you to overcompensate in other areas, and you won't be able to move as well as you should. You won't be able to lift as heavy as you want to. For those of us that love doing that, you won't be able to run as fast as you want to. For those who love doing that or good at that, or want to be better at that. So depending on what you're trying to be good at, if you have a weak core, which is not just your abs, that will hinder you from being as fast, as strong, as healthy, as productive as you would like to be. Just because you look in a mirror and don't see a six pack of abs does not mean you have weak abs. That just means you got a bunch of fat or a certain amount of fat covering it and you can't see what you want to see just yet. But that doesn't mean your abs are weak, and that doesn't mean you don't have abs. It's very confusing on some of the comments that people make about not having abs, having very weak abs, and some of the stuff that people say, which is understandable for some who don't know any better. So, this isn't to pick on anyone. But again, as with the information that I have and the motivation I have to help you along your journey, almost regardless of what were you starting or trying to upgrade to. Again, just because you don't, you have a certain amount of fat on you, a certain amount of back fat, a certain amount of fat covering your abs to where you don't see a six pack just yet. Um, a certain amount of fat anywhere in your body. But specifically, like I said, the focus of this is my Brody mentioned having weak abs, which is not entirely true. And based off of some of what I told, actually all of what I told him, and I'll tell you, if you are, you've seen certain people throughout your lifetime, depending on how old you are currently, and you've seen people, walk like this. So either their back is really weak and or their abs are really weak. And then you've probably seen certain people walk like this, walking forward. That there could be a lot of stuff going on there, including having weak abs, weak abs, weak back, and it's probably not just that. There's probably multiple things, but one, if not two, of the issues is having weak abs, weak back, overcompensating for something else, front in the front of the body, the back of the body. Again, whether they're um, hyperextending their back, like, you know, to where people are walking like that. Um, the bigger you are, muscle or fat, but specifically fat, the harder it is for your body to get the blood flow going the way it's supposed to, as fast as it could or supposed to. Um, Again, that's whether or not you're really big and muscular or really big with fat, but specifically with fat, to where it's just harder for the body to get what it needs as far as the blood flow and you being able to breathe, you being able to function, you being able to live, you being able to get things done, you being able to sleep um, without being worried or having an oxygen tank or, you know, anything like that. So again, not only for the information that people need um, about whether or not their abs are as weak as they might think, but also for the sake of making sure people understand what being healthy is, and that looks different on each person, depending on the age, the gender, what you do, what you can do, what you want to do, and being able to make certain decisions based off of what your current abilities are compared to what you want your future abilities to be. So again, as my Brody mentioned a few hours ago, mistakenly, it's not that your abs are weak. So yes, they might not be as strong as you want them to be, but that doesn't mean your abs are weak. So again, making sure you're strong here as best as you can, and doing that in ways that work for you, depending on your height, you know, what kind of stuff you're into, um, what you have available to you, what you currently know how to do, if you know how to do much of anything, and hitting certain angles of the abs, the back, the hips, the hip flexor, the glutes, and all these muscles that are part of the core that people don't understand, and certain people hearing lies about what the core is. Some people like to hear the sound of their own voice and be telling severe and very strong lies, whether they know it or not, and then whether they know it or not, convincingly tell other people, and then they're so good at telling you stuff that's not true and you believe it. So again, when it comes to me as the owner or trainer of my business, if you don't believe it, don't like it or believe it, I can actually prove it. So that's what I love about what I do. And for you, you can ask me certain questions. Well, I hope you're respectful with whatever your question is, or your possible debate is, and then not only that, depending on where you are with your journey, to possibly hire me as your trainer and give my experience a chance to help you along your journey, depending on where you are. Again, so I can actually prove to you that I know what the heck I'm talking about and make things work for you. Because unlike a lot of people, I'm not making videos because out of boredom. I'm not making videos because I'm making a lot of money from it. Um, I'm not making videos with high hopes I have millions of subscribers or whatever the case may be. I'm doing it because I actually care. I actually give a damn about what I'm doing. I actually have, what, 22 years of experience. Started my business almost 13 years ago. I'm not sure how many videos I have on YouTube right now, but unlike many of the people on social media who just talk for the sake of talking, I'm actually telling you what I know, and I'm actually comfortable with proving it to you. So again, this was about the fact that many people believe their abs are not strong for whatever the reason. And depending on who you are, that might be true. But for some of you, specifically the talking to my Brody a little while ago, that's not true. So if you want or need help trying to figure out whether or not you are one of those people, I am able and willing to do an assessment uh, for you to help you figure that out. And then, depending on what you need at this time, to actually put a program together for you for those who are able and willing to do that. And it will be online, which should be obvious to many, but it will be online for those who need and or want to invest in a program depending on what you need at this time, other than just increasing your strength, but also making sure your body is functioning the way it should be. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a chiropractor. I'm not a physical therapist. So depending on what you need, you may actually have to go see a doctor. So again, this is all based off of stuff that's fitness related, not stuff that you need to talk to a doctor, some kind of doctor for, or someone with a doctorate or a registered doctor of something that I can't think of at the top of my head right now. So again, this is all based off people who are relatively healthy or healthy enough and haven't been told certain things by a doctor, physical therapist, or chiropractor, because that has nothing to do with me. I know some of the stuff that they know because we all took the same stuff our freshman year in college. But depending on what you specifically need, I might not be able to help you. So depending on what you have going on, that's fitness and workout related, that would be me. Either way, if you hire me, I will put you through an assessment to help you figure out whether or not your abs, your back, and whatever else is as weak as you might think it is. And then we go over what I can do to help you. And then it's up to you whether or not you choose to hire me once I give you certain information from your assessment. For those that are interested in that. So, like I said, this is just to help certain people get a better understanding, depending on what level you're at in terms of what you have done, what you're trying to do, what you're going to do, what you want to do, and help you along to where you are now and help you get to where you're trying to go later. All right, so I will leave information at the bottom of the video for the possibility of you being able to be assessed by me. A fitness assessment. Again, I'm not a doctor of any kind, so I'm just the owner, trainer of Fuller Fitness, and this is all based off of what I know. Otherwise, you should actually go see a doctor. So I'll put some of my information at the bottom for you to contact me and see how we can get you to achieve what you want to achieve. You know, in terms of stronger abs, better looking abs. You know, a stronger body, feeling stronger mentally, physically, emotionally, hopefully spiritually, and get you going depending on where you are now. So this is Martone, owner and trainer for Fuller Fitness. Take care.